doing with yourself these days?
So the company I'm working for now, I don't know if you do or not. I'm not at the courthouse.
No, I knew that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know who or what
Yeah.
you're working for.
Um, they work in the behavioral health care field. It's based in Denver.
Okay.
They basically do a lot of administrative work with programs and funding and stuff. So it's not like they're providing the care directly. They're more like making it happen via some government programs and things in Colorado that they administer.
Oh, okay. And you're doing that obviously from here.
Yes. Yep. So it's the same kind of thing. I'm the IT guy. And they have like Amazon cloud servers. So even if I was out in Denver, I wouldn't be able to touch them anyway.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter where you are these days, particularly in IT.
Oh yeah. You can do IT for say just about anywhere.
Mm-hmm. I think I see one in front of me, but
There is one there, but I don't know what it is.
let me ask the guy.
I think so. I'm trying to find that right balance where it's loud enough so they got play at home
Yeah.
without the squelch and the, yeah. And then if you listen real close, you can hear a little bit of squeal in the background. Can you hear that? There's like a little.
What is that?
We don't know.
Something from the
Something
Boxcast?
between here and I don't know if it's the Boxcast, but we were also having it when we had the laptop going. So. So I'm just gonna have to monitor it.
I see.
Tomorrow? This is gonna be 3 hours? I hope you are, 'cause I'm going home. What? She said it's gonna be 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, I can reach in an hour. So I'm going to play on that one, and then that's probably. No, no kidding. Hello. How are you? Dandy. Yes. Oh,
smiling. Hot dog, you're close. Huh? You know what? I had a son, my fourth child, third one. He went through a phase where every song was made up and he didn't remember what it was. And he was
Okay, good evening and welcome to the beautiful Bowman Fine Arts Center. Please take a moment and silence all your electronic devices. And please refrain from using flash photography during the performance because that can be very distracting for a performance. Did you guys catch that first part? Was it loud enough? I'm sorry, I don't know. So once again, please silence your electronic devices and take a moment and locate your nearest exits. Should you need to exit during the performance, we ask that you try and do that either in between pieces or between acts. At the conclusion of the choir portion of the concert, there will be a 15-minute intermission to reset the stage for the band portion. During that time, we invite you to visit the lobby and check out the wonderful displays that our fine arts patrons have put forth. This is a really great opportunity to have free will donations toward all of the various different entities and ideas that the fine arts patrons help pay for. That is not to say that the school district does not supply us with money. The school district gives us a lot of money for all the different things that we need. However, the fine arts patrons help supplement that, helps enrich and invigorate that, and so your money is going right toward the benefit of our wonderful students. So we invite you to go and make a donation if you're willing. Otherwise, please sit back and enjoy the show.
My name is Abby Jo Segerstrom, and I am the concert choir president. The piece you just heard, Audiamus, was not only not in English, it was not in any language. One student had this to say about the song. Audiamus is a very unique song that means nothing. It's a very easy song to memorize because it's very repetitive. It's elegant and a very calm but powerful song for the treble voices. 9 of the ladies you see in front of you performed this piece at Solo and Ensemble Festival on March 26th. Not only did they receive a Division I rating, they also received the recognition of outstanding performance for the center and have been invited to perform at the showcase in Ames on May 17th.
My name is Brooke Olson, and I am a sophomore alto. You notice that the first piece did not feature the entire choir. Much of the music you will hear tonight is being prepared for the IHSMA Large Group Festival, which will be held next week from tomorrow in Algona. For this event, concert choir splits itself and creates 3 choirs, a treble choir, which you just heard, a mixed choir, and a bass choir. This requires us to have prepared just about half an hour of music in the last 2 months. The next piece you will hear is one that the treble choir in front of you picked. We were given a list of 3 songs and chose this one out of the group. When Dr. Bertram from Waldorf University came to clinic us, she shared that this song is intended to paint the message of girls gossiping about the town boys, which you will never hear us do in the choir room. Did you know Dan has ideas so he saw? Please enjoy Johnny Said No.
They wrote that joke themselves.
As the boys come out onto the stage, I'm going to start my senior recognition that I'm going to do kind of in 3 parts as we go throughout the concert tonight. Throughout our portion of the concert, I'm going to take some time to recognize the seniors. I literally just said that. As we enter and exit the stage, each of the fine arts teachers has a different way of recognizing the leaders of our programs each year. I give them each a song. Sometimes this song describes them. Sometimes it's one that I think they should sing. Sometimes it's one that describes the hopes I have for them in the future. Sometimes it's somewhat of an inside joke. I try very hard to never pick songs that they have sung as part of their Forest City vocal music career. This year, each senior will receive their favorite candy with a tag that has their name, the song, a quote from that song, and a QR code linking them to the specific YouTube video I've listened to while writing their explanations. The first group I'm going to recognize are our altos, our senior altos. Natalie Larson is a very organized and take-charge person. This year she took on 2 big jobs. The first was the show choir logistics manager. She assisted me in a lot of the organization that goes with running 2 show choirs, mostly having to do with costuming and makeup. She also took charge backstage at Spotlight, allowing me to actually listen to the performers that had prepared so hard for a very rewarding concert. In order to do these jobs, she had to have a clear vision and not be afraid to tell her peers what was right and what was wrong. In other words, she had to do things my way. And because she loves babies and little kids, I had to choose the version from the animated movie Sing. So let me grab her. If I was smart, I would have organized these, but that definitely didn't happen. So my way from Sing, and her quote from the song is, "I faced it all, and I stood tall, and I did it my way." Haley Wood is another very loyal member of our choir. Let me grab her bag before I start. Even though she might not be as outspoken or outgoing as her brothers, she seems to enjoy coming to the choir room and being on the team. To me, Haley seems a laid-back and grassroots kind of person, but I know she can become the opposite with her friends and family. She's happy with herself and doesn't find too much to complain about, but keeps trucking along. That's why I chose this verging on country style song from the musical Kinky Boots, "Take What You Got." So her quote is, "You take aim, take your shot, sometimes you've got to rewrite the plot." I picked Elsa's song a while ago, and it has 2 explanations. Firstly, it's a beautiful piano song that many student pianists have to learn at some point, and we all know what a wonderful pianist Miss Anderson is. The second explanation has a funny story attached to it. A few months ago, we organized the show choir closet, and as I was teaching lessons, the students would they hang out in the choir room, so they started sitting back in the closet to not be as disruptive. Somehow through the course of this, Elsa ended up sitting inside the box that we used to hold garment bags. And throughout the next few weeks, it became her mental health stress, right? Okay. Students would walk in and say, "Where's Elsa?" And I would say, "Check the box." Thus, the music box dancer is her song. And I didn't know the music box dancer had lyrics, but apparently it does. So the room fills with music, such a cute song, bringing joy to the watchers, spreading a glow. I could say a lot about the next senior, but I'm going to leave it with a short list of things many of us know about Abby Jo. She is a performer. She is very emotional. She loves lifting the people around her up and making them better. She loves classic stories, music, and musicals. She works very hard for the things and people that are dear to her. Based on these things, I had very specific criteria for her song, but I couldn't find one that fit for a very long time. I wanted something classic and jazzy, but it also had to be Broadway-ish, because I've met her. And it had to have a good message behind it. Who better to help represent Abby but the queens of Broadway themselves, Judy Garland and Barbra Streisand, with their mashup duet of Get Happy and Happy Days, actually. all your cares away. The skies above are clear again. Shout hallelujah, so let's sing a song.
My name is Amelia Golter, and I'm a junior alto. Will the Circle Be Unbroken is one of our favorites. We performed it with the Waldorf Choir this last Sunday. And Miss Andrews decided we might as well do it at our own concert as well. However, we had to prepare the solo and trio at the beginning. So you will hear Amy and our senior trio, Gracie, Abby, and Elsa. A member of our choir said this about performing this song. Performing this piece brings a sense of friendship and unity to our choir. We are able to blend and sing in our full voices. This piece shows us that choir, we can accomplish our collective goals.
Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting if we try, Lord, if we try. I was singing with my sisters. I was singing with my friends, and we all can sing together, 'cause the circle never ends. I was singing with my sisters. I was singing with my friends, and we all can sing together, 'cause the circle never ends. Oh, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting if we try, Lord, if we try. I was born in a valley where the sun refused to shine. But I'm climbing to the high mountain, mountain. Oh, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Oh, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Oh, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky, in the My name is Molly Miller, and I'm a senior soprano. The next song is another of our favorites.
While this song has religious iconography in it, it is widely viewed as more of a social justice song. A member of our choir wrote this about prayer for the children. I love performing this piece. It is one of my favorites because of the musicality that we as singers get to perform. All the different voice parts go together so gracefully. The lyrics in this song hold a special place in my heart, not only because it was the last piece we got to sing before the global pandemic, but because it holds a significance in so many other ways. Singing this piece reminds me of taking a breath of fresh air after being locked away for so long.
today's choir set, I'm going to call up our senior sopranos. And Addison's up first. I knew Addison deserved something bright and sunny, just like she is. She comes in every morning with a skip in her step and leaves every day by saying, "Bye, teach," no matter what else I'm doing or who else is in the room. While Addison may not be the loudest singer in our group, she is by far the loudest cheerleader, and all her inhibitions fly out the window when she's cheering on her friends. It has been a great joy to have her back in our choir this year, and I'm sure we will lose just a little bit of joy without her next year. So for Addison, her song is Cheerleader, originally by OMI, but I gave her a cover that has ukulele in it, by Kurt Hugo Schneider. And her quote is, "'Cause she stays strong, she's always in my corner, right there when I need her." You didn't hear that, but she just said, "Thanks, teach." Up next is Liberty Feldman. She has been part of our choir all throughout high school, off and on. She's not an overachiever who wants to sing all the solos, or any of the solos, but she always does her absolute best and is a huge asset to our soprano section just by being present. When I was searching for a song for her, I had a list of quite a few, but they were all too harsh for her chill vibe. Finally, I decided on one that describes Liberty and has inspirational lyrics for how I hope she continues to live her life. For Liberty, one of my favorite songs, put your records on. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Don't you hesitate. Gracie's next. I chose this song for a multitude of reasons. We all know that Gracie is a beautiful person inside and out, and her voice is gorgeous to match. Most of what you've heard her sing on this stage are pretty ballads, right? But what you haven't heard as much of is her screaming belt, which you'll hear some of tonight in our last song. I know she's practiced and looked at some other Christina songs, but while the lyrics describe her and have a great message, I would also love to hear her sing this song someday. So for Gracie, Beautiful by Christina Aguilera, and the quote, "The sun will always shine, and tomorrow we might wake up on the other side." One more on the screen. Molly is one of the most steadfast, dedicated, and hardworking students I know. She has committed to a vast number of things throughout her high school career, and while she may have shied away from the spotlight, she is a great team player. Just this March, some of the other girls convinced her to do ensemble contest with the treble ensemble. Molly has been in seminar this year, coming to class when she's able to around her college classes and work. So she learned and memorized Adiemus in about 2 days, helping her team win a Division I rating and get recognized as an outstanding performer in our center. So for Molly, I chose the song "Count on Me" by Bruno Mars. We'll find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. And now we'll get back to singing.
senior tenor. Bonsayaba is a traditional Zambian folk song. It follows the familiar call and response pattern that is popular in many African traditions. You hopefully heard the call passed around between the baritones, tenors, and basses. We want to thank our percussionists, Riley Miller, Ashlyn Miller, and Elsa Anderson, as well as our favorite pianist, Mrs. Beth Snyder. The Zambian text loosely translates to, "All who sing with the Spirit have a right to be called the children of God." The next piece has a similar theme of text. An Irish blessing uses the English translation of an old Celtic prayer. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields. Until we meet, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. One of the members of the choir described the song like this: "The music entrapped me with its gorgeous chords and overall strong lyricism. I do not think I will ever forget when we performed this exciting, thrilling, and good for the soul piece. We hope you enjoy An Irish Blessing." My name is Brody Dirksen. I am a junior tenor. The majority of us performed an Irish Blessing and our next song at the solo ensemble contest in March, where we received the Division I rating. Miss Andrews added our next song to make sure we met our time limit, but it quickly became one we could really connect to. We would like to welcome to our stage our guest conductor for this evening, Miss Abby Jo Segerstrom. One student had this to say about Viva La Company. It was a very fun and energetic song. It is interesting how the song switches to jazz and how the tone of the song changes so abruptly. Sit back and let's entertain you with Ruth Artman's arrangement of an old favorite, Viva La Company.
Viva la, viva la, viva la.
While the treble voices come back out and join us, I'll finish up our senior recognition with the men of our ensemble. As I mentioned earlier, when I pick these songs, sometimes I pick songs that I think describes the person, or one I wish they would sing, or based off of the message of the song, or something about what I want for their future. This is a song that I wish Dan would sing, a song that has a title that Dan wishes were true, and a title that the tenors and basses fully believe is true. It's complicated, it's high, and I'm excited to see how the lyrics of the first verse follow him as he leaves Forest City to take on Ames. Dan, get down here. What are you doing? Oh, sorry. So for Dan, King of the World from Songs for a New World, and the quote is, "And I'm king of the world, watch and you'll see, nothing can stop me from tomorrow, nothing can keep me from my destiny." He's too tall, it's weird to hug him. Also, I just have to share this fun fact about Dan that I forgot to put on my thing. Dan was the first student that I taught at Forest City. Before I started my first year, he came in for an all-state lesson. So he was the very first person that I actually worked with on singing. So just a little fun fact. The next senior I'm going to recognize is Jacob Burkhoff. I went through several songs trying to find one to fit Jacob. I knew it had to be in the rock genre, right? But none of the ones that I picked fit entirely. That is until I was reminded of this song. Not only is it in the rock idiom, but an SNL skit featuring this song feeds into the comedy that Jacob brings to our choir and our lives. And the title allows for the creepiness of the characters he tends to play in our dramas. So for Jacob, don't fear the Reaper. All our times have come, here but now they're gone. Seasons, don't fear the Reaper. And last but not least of our students is Joey Huminga. I tend to struggle to pick the guys' songs more than the girls. I don't know why, sometimes I get wrapped up in like, if it's like a love song and giving that to a guy, that's kind of weird, and all of that. Sometimes I can't separate them from their section. The basses tend to be really mean-driven. Joey does not fit that description, but they just kind of all conform into one. But yeah, so sometimes it's kind of tricky, and I kind of struggled with Joey. He wasn't in choir at the beginning of the year because he had some scheduling conflicts, but we're so happy to have him back this trimester. In fact, it's a big reason why I picked Prayer of the Children, because I knew that we needed his bass voice. I tried really, really hard not to pick a song about all the things that we all know about Joey. He's a twin, he's a runner, he's a swimmer, he's a very quiet young man, unless he's singing in the bass section. But I failed. So once I came across this song, there wasn't really an option. I told some of the senior girls, I was like, I think I have to pick it, and they agreed. The title is just too perfect. However, the message does not fit Joey at all, so it's just the title. I want you to know that. So for Joey, it's the song Run, Joey, Run.
Decided to give it another try. We will feature Miss Ashley Miller as our soprano soloist tonight on You're the Music by Dan Forrest. If you listen closely, you'll notice that this piece is constantly changing keys and time signatures, which creates a very storytelling song, but requires a vast amount of concentration on the part of the musicians.
right here, I have one bag left. We have one more senior to recognize before our last piece. This senior is a little bit older, and he's not in choir per se. He's what I like to call choir adjacent. But neither the students nor I would be much without him, so I had to give him a song as well. Mr. Schmidt was a great mentor to me in my first years of teaching, and will remain so even when I seem to have things figured out. He has been an even better friend. Many beginning teachers, especially in small town Iowa, struggle to get out and find a group of people to call friends. That hasn't been a problem for me because our fine arts staff is so very welcoming to new people. So rest assured, we will miss you, but we will welcome Mr. Metters with open arms, just like you have done for me. By being his ordinary, everyday self, and always striving to be his best, Mr. Schmidt encourages me to be a better teacher, musician, and human, while always thinking of the students first. So for you, I had to pick a song that encompasses all of that, no pressure, but also is a song that is just well written, with a slam and drum part. I'm sure a great many Forest Cityans will agree with my final decision, My Hero by the Foo Fighters. Watch him as he goes, there goes my hero, he's just ordinary. You notice he's a little bit bigger because it has 20 packs of Avengers fruit snacks. I've talked a lot tonight, and I thank you so much for being here and listening to me talk and recognize all of these fantastic seniors on the stage. I would go through and do a bunch of thank yous because there are so many people that make this night and our choir possible, but we would probably be here until midnight. So you know who those people are. A lot of them are on the back of your program. I'm going to let Natalie finish up our last, introducing our last piece, and then we'll be at our intermission.
My name is Natalie Larson, and I'm a senior alto. Our final song of the night is the first of this set that we've deemed performance ready. We enjoy a good gospel song at the end of our sets, especially when we have a great soloist to add to the performance. Shout Glory will feature Miss Gracie LaCour, Mr. Ian Thompson, and of course, Miss Beth Snyder. After this piece, there will be a brief intermission to reset the stage for our concert band. And please make plans to travel to Algona on May 6th for our performances at State Large Group Contest. But before we start Shout Glory, we wanted to show our appreciation for you. So we got you some of your favorite things.
For real? All my favorite things.
As your attorney, I advise although I really don't think so you've got the laptop there, and you got it all set up. You have our set ready to go. And then Darren went to Des Moines, took a power cord for me.
All right, good evening, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. How about another huge round of applause for our choir portion of that concert? So tonight is about a couple major things. For me, first and foremost, is about the beautiful music that we'll make. But very, very quickly after that would be recognizing this wonderful class of 2022. And so I'd invite the Woodwind seniors to come up and be recognized at this time while they're making their way. There's a tradition that I created years ago where I give each of these students the word that I think best describes them, the word that I think will carry them on through life, and just the word that I think truly embodies their whole character. So, I can go in order here. This will be fine. All right. First of all, we have Miss Allie Romaris. Allie, your word is persuasive. Defined as to induce to believe by appealing to reason or understanding, to convince. So, Allie is convincing in a number of ways. Allie's been one of our most frequent honor band goers. And this latest one that she went on was the UNI Honor Band. And she persuaded, I let her kind of have the senior privilege of persuading us where to go to eat for every meal. And the first major mistake she made was to choose to go to Texas Tavern when all the old farts go. And it was very, very crowded. But then the second hilarious, persuasive, terrible choice she made was that she decided that we really needed cookies after the concert one night. So we went to this place called Insomnia Cookies, which of course is located right next to a bar in Cedar Falls. So that's always exciting to take students into some stuff. We went to the cookie place, don't worry. However, the lady who was working that night was not having life, and she was like, I'm going to close the place down earlier. And we were like, it's called Insomnia Cookies. But it's just all these really funny things that happened throughout our time together, and I appreciate how persuasive you've been, but you've also been so persuasive in a positive way, and it's been really one of the best leaders we've had in this program. So let's hear it for Allie. Tyler Knowlton. Your word is versatile, capable of or adapted for turning easily from one to another of various tasks, fields, or endeavors. So Tyler is one of my quiet types. He's a man of few words. However, I really felt like I unlocked a relationship with him this year, especially over fantasy football. We're big fantasy football junkies together. We had a lot of fun conversations about that. Just today, we were talking about the moon landing and how he's kind of a conspiracy theorist. That's pretty cool. But what I really appreciate about Tyler's versatility is the fact that he balances being an incredible musician, a gifted athlete, a wonderful student, and he works his tail off outside of school. He works a lot outside of school. So I just think that's really to be admired in our youth. So let's give it up, please, for Tyler. Y'all can go that way, I don't know. He's a big fan. All right. Zachary Welton, your word is adaptable. You are able to adjust oneself readily to different conditions. So, Zach is very adaptable. It's kind of like Tyler. They're bros for sure. Like, you guys hang out a lot, do a lot of the same things, but I appreciate that about you all, that you guys are tight-knit like that. And one of my favorite memories of Zach was how he adapted his compadres in the front row clarinet section on April Fool's Day, you know, every band director's favorite day of the year. And we were about to start this lovely piece that you'll hear later called Appalachian Morning, which starts with this gorgeous clarinet solo. And they decided, instead of playing the solo together, that they played the national anthem instead. So it didn't quite fit the chord progression, but it was absolutely hilarious, and it was one of my favorite memories with you. And thank you for just being so adaptable throughout all your time here. Zach Welton, everybody. This is great. Joey Hovega, your word is modest. Having or showing a humble estimate of one's merits' importance, free from vanity, egotism, boastfulness, or great pretensions. So, as Miss Andrews alluded to earlier, and as probably everyone's aware of, when you're driving around town, there's this blonde dude that just runs right by you, faster than your car is traveling. Joey is this unbelievable runner, and he takes all of my jokes really well in stride. And I appreciate I'm adapting now, we've got all the jokes. So he's this unbelievable runner, and he's such a gifted, talented, like state level, crazy good athlete, and you would not know that if you talk to him. He doesn't boast about any of that kind of stuff. He's a wonderful musician as well. You get to hear a solo by him later, and it's just he's doing some really wonderful things. And so we appreciate you, Joey. Molly Miller, your word is tranquil, free from commotion or tumult, peaceful, quiet, calm. I believe Molly might be the sweetest and most kind and caring student that I've ever met. She is just so unbelievably calm and peaceful. I've never seen you worked up about anything. And you are so unbelievably reliable. She's like the epitome of what we're looking for in students. Someone who's going to come in and do their job, and do it in just the best possible way, and not look for accolades about it. I wish I had some sort of story about her, but she has done absolutely nothing to incriminate herself. For that, I'm thankful. Thank you, Molly. And last, rounding out the woodwind section is Miss Isabella Alves. Your word is innovative. To introduce something new, make changes in anything established. First of all, you are going to single-handedly hear her fabulous bass clarinet playing along with her friend Jake, but they bring some sound from that instrument. She was a fabulous music captain for us this past marching band season, and she may not know that I know this, but I think sometime during the pandemic, a student came up to me with, a lot of students showed me the stuff on their phones, whether I ask or not, and a student showed me this meme that was like this tiny little innocent like cartoon, like a Bob the Builder looking boy guy, and the caption was Mr. Schmidt. has a really funny sense of humor. She does that with a lot of different things. She's kind of, once again, one of those quiet types, but like super innovative in everything she does. Super artistic. It's just really been a pleasure to teach you. So, Isabella Alves. At this time, Mr. Spargo will come out and introduce our first individual speech event of the evening.
First off, I'd like to commit to thank Mr. Schmidt and Ms. Andrews for allowing us to perform some of our speech events at this wonderful concert and drag it out even more. This year we had a really good year in speech. Tonight we are going to showcase 3 of our senior individual speech students. First up, we are going to have Dan Hovinga. He is a wonderful singer, and he found this piece that was done a couple years ago. It's a humorous standalone piece. It really describes Dan when he was a freshman coming on stage in the musical. It's a piece called What Do You Do With Your Arms?
Stop. Hold on, we'll get your mic turned on. Take 2.
Suck my stomach tight, but even my doctor calls my upper arm humorous. The legs are straight forward, I think we all get it. They can stand, they can sit, they can skip if you let them. You can cross them, recross them, if the mood is right, spread them. But what do you do with your arms? I never seem to figure it out, despite the years I've tried to rehearse. But if I ever got it right, I'd be king of the universe. Now I'm up here at center stage. What do I do with my arms? I want to reach out and fully engage, but it's hard to reach out with your arms. I don't want to be stiff, I don't want to be static. I want to expand, make my gestures dramatic, but somehow it all ends up vaguely aquatic. What am I doing wrong with my arms? I've taken up knitting and long-distance swimming. I've taken up smoking, I've taken up booze, gone bobbing for apples, tried getting arrested, surrounded myself with Italians and Jews. I've taken up praying and hitting pinatas, the YMCA dance, the tomahawk chop. In high school I did twirling and made lots of girls happy, and I've taken up billiards and bars.
All right, at this time we have a number of percussion seniors to recognize, so you guys can come on up. There's a lot of you, so you might have to keep scooting them. So this first gentleman right here is not technically a senior. However, he is one of our exchange students from France. So if you haven't met Mr. Samuel Giret, here he is right now. Sam, even though we've known each other for just a few short months, your word is zealous. You have fervor for a person, cause, or object. You are eager. You have desire to endeavor. You're enthusiastic and diligent. So, because he's from France, I've tried to a little bit of French out on Sam, just to try and get my language to be a little bit better. And I really appreciate the fact that I've tried to poke fun at you. You basically have made fun of me every time. I've tried to speak French. Just a couple days ago, I was like, Sam, we're going to start at measure 7. Is the French for 7 7? And he went, no. So it just so happens to be Sam's birthday, so bon anniversaire. Here's Sam. Anna Werchis, your word is altruistic. Unselfishly concerned for or devoted to the welfare of others. So Anna just embodies this wonderful sense of selflessness and servitude, especially toward her faith, toward her family, toward her work, and toward her friends. She's also pretty selfless on who she decides to go to Winterfest dances with. She took 2 dates. I don't know if she couldn't choose between the 2, but maybe she said yes to 2 people. I don't know. You had 2 friends. She said I thought that was great. And then she took someone different to prom. So I gotta tell you, you're doing pretty well. But I make fun of her for that because she is the most innocent and sweet thing ever. And we are just so happy to have been the recipient of your altruism so much. So thank you, Anna. Kevin Jones, your word is resolute. You are firmly resolved or determined. You are set in purpose. So, Kevin is eagerly awaiting some results from her applications to 2 different military academies. I have no doubt that that's going to go well for you, and even if it doesn't, you're going to carve just this amazing path in life. You have been one of the most excellent drum majors that I've ever had the privilege of working with. She's also one of those types that hasn't really incriminated herself, other than she really owns up for when she makes the mistake by this huge contagious laugh that she has. It's a super funny laugh. It just happened the other day on Tuesday at the clinic. We had this wonderful clinician named Dr. Miller come in and work with the students. Kevin has this little piano lick in one of our pieces, and she totally botched it the other day. And so Dr. Miller went to talk to you and you just started laughing. And I was like, way to go, own up to your mistakes, that's great. So I just appreciate the fact that you're resolute just about everything. So let's give it up for Kevin. Andrew Snyder, your word is magnetic. Exerting a strong attractive power or charm, influential. Mr. Snyder is a super funny guy, especially when he messes up. He owns up to I don't know if you own up to your mistakes quite as much as Kevin does, but it's always very obvious when he makes one. He doesn't do it at concerts, I'm grateful for that. But in rehearsals, if he messes something up, he goes. And it's the best. Now, when Andrew's having a great time, though, and he doesn't think I'm looking, and something's really bopping, he's got these just super sweet dance moves as well. And I'm just going to miss both of those things very much. Let's give it up for Andrew. Dan Hovinga. How about another round of applause for that awesome song you sang? Dan, your word is genial. you are warmly and pleasantly cheerful, you're cordial, and you're characterized by genius. So, we all know how wonderful of a singer Dan is, but I don't think he gets enough credit for how fantastic of just an all-around musician he is. He has been like the bedrock of our percussion section for a while, especially the low-end bass drum. He's carried this giant bass for, I'm sure I've given you scoliosis from like making you do that thing, I'm so sorry, but you have just really brought so much energy to the bass drumming that you do both in concert band and in marching band. He is such a phenomenal singer and such a phenomenal musician. I have, the only other soloist that I featured with this band was during my 3rd year, when it was my best man, who was a professional musician. And I didn't really ever feel brave enough to show off any individual talent until we met Dan. So congratulations for everything you've achieved, and thank you for being so genial. His word could have been vertical, right? Gracie LaCour, your word is enchanting. You are charming, captivating, sweet, and good-natured. So, she just looks like a princess, right? I mean, she's just so enchanting. You have this, unbelievably enchanting voice that you got to hear earlier. Just fabulous, all right? With that enchanting personality comes this sweet level of innocence. So, Dan Hoviga was playing a cymbal part on our last concert cycle. And instead of telling him, Dan, hit the cymbal and let it ring, like a good technical teacher would do, I said, hit that puppy and leave it! To which Gracie replied, what? She thought I was talking about an actual puppy. But I wasn't, and I think that just goes to show just how innocent and sweet and good-natured she is. And I will never forget that moment in a rehearsal, so thank you for that. Gracie LaCour. Elsa Anderson, your word is buoyant. You are not easily depressed, you are cheerful, you go with the flow, you are carefree, and you float in water really well. I don't know. So, Elsa and I had the privilege of sitting next to each other at the latest Spider-Man movie, and we went, I went with my wife, she happened to go, we just happened to sit next to each other, it was really great. And I'm not gonna lie, this might come to a surprise for you, but I hate to admit this, but I have a pretty bad foul mouth. Not in front of your children. I don't. All right. But when I'm out of hours, I cuss, and I'm trying to get better for my children, of course. But sometimes things slip, especially when I'm watching movies for the first time, and like things are exploding on screen, and all of this crazy stuff is happening. So like beep beep kind of flies out. And the best part is Elsa was totally cool about it. And the best part of Elsa is like, her laugh, she doesn't like laugh audibly, she just does exactly what she's doing right now. She shrugs silently, it's like this internal laugh, and the whole movie I could just see her like laughing like that, so I'm sorry if I ruined the movie for you, but you have been just such this awesome, just like breezy person to be around, and it's just so fun knowing you, so thank you, Elsa. And to round out our percussion section, Miss Abby Jo Segerstrom, your word is vivacious. You are lively, animated, and spirited. So, one of my favorite stories. So, a couple years ago, we were at our Fine Arts Awards night, which is coming up in a couple weeks on Tuesday, May 17th. Make sure you come to that. We usually have the giant screen down, and Abby just so happened to win a lot of awards that year, and we teachers don't like go and take pictures of the students because we don't want to ruin the effect of the surprise of the award. So we go and take their school pictures from our attendance space. And so as the kids would say, Abby had a glow up subsequent probably to that picture that we used, all right? So she was not all too impressed with it. Every time she'd go up, she'd be like, why did they use that picture? Every time. And finally, after the third or fourth time, she came back and she's like, I still don't know why they use it. I just looked at her and said, do better. Which if you see her senior pictures now where she has every season represented, and her hair's all, she's, you have done better. But this vivacious personality of hers has really created this awesome energy in our, especially our pit section and marching band. They're warriors. They have this war chant, pit is lit, pit is lit, and they get after it, and I think it has everything to do with your vivaciousness. So give it up for Abby. Couple more speech things, couple more senior things coming up. Here's Mr. Spargo again.
Our next senior speaker is going to be Jacob Burkow. Jacob Burkow just joined us 2 years ago. He came in as a junior from North Iowa. He's been a great addition to our fine arts program, as Miss Andrews has alluded to. Jacob, as Miss Andrews says, likes creepy stuff, and he has this very wonderful, weird, unique talent to take somewhat simple, innocent things and make them kind of weird. As we're going to see by his speech tonight, he's taken a Shel Silverstein piece, a wonderful, fun kids piece called The Dirtiest Man in the World, and he's made it kind of creepy, but it's really awesome. So, Jacob.
The Dirtiest Man in the World by Shel Silverstein. Oh, I'm Dirty Dan, the world's dirtiest man. I never have taken a shower. I can't see my shirt, it's so covered with dirt. And my ears have enough to grow flowers. But the water is either a little too hot or else it's a little too cold. I'm musty and dusty and patchy and scratchy and mangy and covered with mold. But the water is always a little too hot or else it's a little too cold. I live in a pen with 5 hogs and a hen, and 3 squizzly lizards who creep in. My bed and the itch has a squirm and a twitch, and the cruddy old sheets I sleep in. If you look down my throat with a flashlight, you'd note that my insides are covered with rust. I creak when I walk and I squeak when I talk, and each time I sneeze, I will toss. The thought of a towel and soap makes me howl, and when people have something to tell me, they don't come and tell it. They stand back and yell it. I think they're afraid they might smell me. The bedbugs that leap on me sing me to sleep, and the garbage flies that buzz me awake. They're the best friends I've found, and I fear they might drown, so I never go too near the lake. Each evening at 9, I sit down to dine with the termites who live in my chair, and I joke with the bats and have intimate chats with the cooties who crawl through my hair. I'd brighten my life if I just found a wife, but I fear that never will be, until I can find a girl gentle and kind, with a beautiful face and a sensitive mind, who sparkles and twinkles and glistens and shines. And he's almost as dirty as me.
Thank you, Jacob. We really enjoyed that piece. Mr. Schmidt with some more senior recognition.
All right, brass seniors, come on up. Gotta admit, didn't know how long this speech piece was. There's exactly 17 fruit snacks left. Thanks, Anika. All right, just 4 left. Brooke Kingland, excuse me. Your word is kaleidoscopic. You are made up of a complex mix of elements. You are multifaceted. I love Brooke's personality because it is all-encompassing. She emotes very much, and she shows all of the emotions. Sometimes she is like blissfully happy. Sometimes she doesn't want to be there in the morning and shows it. And I think that's really great. I love that honesty. A little funny thing that happens with our students is they kind of form these little rivalries with one another, and for some reason Ellie Jenkins is a big target in the band, and probably because you're I'm kidding. But it's an inside joke. But one day, Brooke left a sticky note, seemingly on Ellie's stand, but it was actually on my stand, that said, "Hey, Stinky." And I think it was for Ellie, but it was on my stand. And it was signed Brooke Kingling. So I started calling her Stinky for the rest of the year. But I'm so proud of Brooke because she had the opportunity to probably drop out of band when her older sister, Michaela, graduated. And I have to admit, I've been very influenced by my older brothers, and I try to do as they did, kind of thing from time to time. And I'll be honest, I'm really, really happy you stuck it out and that you just kept giving us your talents and all of your wonderful personalities. So, Brooke. Ian Toft, your word is undaunted. You are undismayed, not discouraged, not forced to abandon purpose or effort. So Ian, last year, or this past fall, decided to join football, and through that journey, decided to get absolutely jacked and swole. Like he's a man. And there was one time after pep band that he was talking to me about his workouts, but then like low-key started talking about like steroids and stuff. I was like, no, we're not juicing, are you? He's like, no, I don't do that, but like, I know this thing's about steroids. I'm like, all right. My favorite part of Ian is that he is notoriously tardy every single day. About 1 minute, it's like 8:15, 8:16, he just walks in, kind of gives me the like, I can't count you tardy, I just love you too much. You're awesome. However, our last concert cycle, it was Pop's concert day, and we had our rehearsal over here at Bowman that morning at 8:15. And in walks Ian, much later than usual. I was like, oh, okay, maybe something happened. He came up to me after rehearsal and was like, dude, I was actually here early, but I was in the band room. I went to the wrong place. But I just thought I loved that so much. But the one day he finally showed up on time, he was at the wrong location. But I really love how undaunted and just how unfazed you are by like really anything. And just you've just been a super cool personality and a fabulous trombone player that you'll definitely get to hear later tonight. So, Ian, everybody. Grace Kobricker, your word is imaginative. You are creative. You have the ability to face or resolve difficulties. You are resourceful. I just think that Grace is another one of the, I think her name beautifully matches her personality. She is just an absolute sweetheart, and she also has not really done anything to incriminate herself. But something that she's really contributed to our arts program is visual art, and I just think she's a fabulous artist. And one of my favorite things I've ever seen is that little short film you made, and it was so artistic. And then she was playing guitar in the background. I'm like, you are like a consummate artist, and I absolutely love that about you. So I think the word imaginative is perfect for you, just like your name is perfect for you. So let's give it up for Grace. All right, last and certainly not least, Jacob Burkow. Your word is dutiful. You perform duties expected or required of one, and you are characterized by those duties. So, he's like one of the most helpful students there is. Every morning in marching band, we have to go out on, we are so blessed to have this amazing turf field right outside our dorm. But we have to lug a lot of stuff out there and back. And without fail, Jacob was always one that helped the drum majors out with either their podium or this big cart they used to get all the other podiums. Yeah, I mean, he's a strong guy, so he helped him out every day. I just thought that was so nice and like dutiful of you. So one of the absolute best speeches given at a marching band competition was by Jacob Burkow. So he spent some time at North Iowa Buffalo Center, and he's really kind of fallen in love with being here at Forest City and the band program, what we have to offer for our students. And all of that passion and energy was coming out in his little speech. And like right at the cap of his speech, he pulled a Mr. Schmidt and decided to cuss. Like I said, not in front of your children. I'm not going to say the words, but like basically, he was just like, you know what, guys? I'm just so proud of you. And we were like, but then everyone lost their minds and like got up and like was super jacked. 'Cause we were kind of afraid like we were not going to do very well against Sheldon that night, but I'm pretty sure it was you that made us win that night. So give it up for Jacob, everybody. Well, it's been my absolute privilege to do this tradition for the years that I've been here. Let's hear it one more time for all of the class of 2022 seniors. Mr. Spargo, one more time for another speech event.
Our last speech event of the night is Miss Abby Segerstrom with her musical theater. Abby is a two-time individual speech all-stater. She was nominated last year, but unfortunately there were no all-state festivals because of everything with COVID. Luckily for us, she did it again this year. She nailed it at state. Her comment sheets had like 3 things on them, and they were like, wow, great job, beautiful, awesome, from all 3 judges. They were so impressed with her. So she got to spend the day at UNI with us doing all-state speech. She had a great time. The critic down there was absolutely amazed, loved her. She is a wonderful singer. She's been a great performer for everything this year, so we're super pleased to present her for our last speech event of the night. This is Abby Segerstrom doing Don't Rain on My Parade.
Someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you're
take part of this concert and showcase our students. I'll turn it over to Mr. Schmidt and the band for their performance.
So there is one other component to this concert. I've tried really hard this evening to make it about these seniors and soon to make it about this wonderful music, but I would be very much remiss if I didn't talk to this wonderful community about some things. So, as many of you all know, this will be my last year here at Forest City Schools. Earlier this school year, I applied for admission into the graduate school at the University of Iowa and was accepted as a candidate for the Doctor of Musical Arts degree in wind band conducting. This doctoral program is a 3-year academic journey which will require me and my family to move to Iowa City. I've also been hired as a member of the Iowa Band staff, as a teaching assistant for the Hawkeye Marching Band, the 3 wind bands, the pep band, and other duties as assigned. At the end of 3 years, I will officially become Dr. Corey Schmidt and begin to pursue a full-time career of teaching at the collegiate level. All of this unfortunately means that the 8 wonderful years that I've spent in this amazing community will effectively end on the last day of school. Teaching students music has been my dream since I was their age, and being a college band director has been a dream of mine since attending the 2 outstanding schools where I have already studied. However, I had no idea that I was going to live a dream within a dream. For a Southern Virginia boy to live and land in Treetown, Iowa seems unimaginable, but I have nothing but joy in my heart that I chose to start and grow my career here. The absolute best part of living in Forest City is you all, the people. I'm forever grateful that you all have been a part of my life. We have witnessed together these incredible musicians perform some of the most memorable pieces, shows, performances that this community has ever seen. Yet, more importantly, these students have shown us what it takes to be the absolute best of people. My wife Teresa and I experienced many of firsts here in Forest City, getting engaged, getting married, our first home, adopting our dog Luna, raising Eddie, and now our beautiful little girl Charlotte, who's in the audience tonight. This is the kind of place where when you fall down, people are there to pick you up. When my sister-in-law Deanne died in 2018, you all provided me and my family with hundreds of dollars and even more prayers to get us through what could be considered one of the most difficult times of my life. When your basement floods, for the 3rd time, your friends bring over food, shop vacs, and fans and dive right in without hesitation. The search for my replacement is complete, and I'm happy to announce that Mr. Griffin Metters will be the new director of bands here at Forest City Schools, starting on June 6th. Mr. Metters is from Chicago originally and graduated from Iowa State, where he obtained a music education degree, was highly involved with the Cyclone Marching Band as a tuba player, and met his now girlfriend, Anna, who is a West Hancock alum. Thus, Mr. Metters has been, for the past year, the director of bands at West Hancock. So we are effectively stealing him from that place and bringing him here. And he will be a phenomenal addition to our community, and I have no doubt that he will continue the tenets of pride, excellence, and tradition that we value so much here. And for anyone who says he has big shoes to fill, I remind you that I wear a size 9. There are 3 parting thoughts that I would like to impart upon you all as I begin my next chapter in life. Number 1, music has been and always will be the ultimate teacher. I am subservient to its power and mysticism. I cannot help but live and breathe it openly for people to see, but it is the music that has driven all of this. So while I might be going away, music remains. And I hope that I have given and shared with each and every one of you the love and power of music. Number 2, being in band, in my estimation, still remains the most important thing a student can do for the trajectory of their entire life. It is precisely this reason that I'm following God's call to go prepare the next legion of educators to do this thing we call band the way we do it here. The last 8 years have not been about what I, Mr. Schmidt, have done to these students or for these students in this community, but rather what focus, discipline, teamwork, perseverance, dedication, passion, and love for music and for performance can do. Lastly, I leave you with this idea, which is that I've not always been super open about my faith in front of an audience, but tonight I cannot help but share one of my favorite Bible verses, which is Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. This verse has been the epitome of my teaching philosophy. I will always give my absolute best for my students while expecting them to be the absolute best versions of themselves. But this community has sharpened me, and it is my hope, sincerest hope, that I have returned that favor. To conclude this farewell, I have a number of thank yous to extend. First of all, thank you to the loyal fine arts patrons, particularly Melanie Slater, Her Highness Jackie Miller, Carrie Olson, Carrie Segerstrom, and so many others who have made so much possible for this program. Thank you to our wonderful administration for their support and their encouragement. Thank you to the wonderful and amazing true stakeholders of our school. Kathy Burke, Kelly Well, the office ladies Jessica and Steph and Deb, the custodians and maintenance staff, the cafeteria workers, Daryl Heimer and all of our drivers. Quick plug and shout out, become a bus driver. It would be wonderful to have band parents be bus drivers for the future. We have awesome bus drivers in Lowell and AJ and Lauren, but we're going to need more as time progresses, so consider doing that. I wish to thank my many colleagues and teachers, but particularly our very close friends, the Uhlenhaups, for being our absolute best friends. The Saracia Myers for showing us the meaning of generosity and how to treat people. Sparrow for being a brother from another mother. Thank you to Miss Andrews for taking this choir program in a new and exciting direction and for being the best possible mentee ever. Thank you to Mrs. Rutt for being the best partner in music teaching crime that I could ever ask for. And she pretty much single-handedly has been the reason I have been able to survive, not just survive here, but thrive here. And she will be staying to help Griffin as well. So let's give it up for Mrs. Rutt. My parents, who are probably watching 1,000 miles away back in Virginia, I'd like to thank them for buying me my first trumpet 22 years ago, for supporting my journey as a musician and educator, and for showing me how to be a man of God and family. I'd like to thank my beloved wife, Teresa, and my beautiful children, Edward and Charlotte. You all are the reason I have breath in my lungs, and the reason I work so hard, because I want to give you all the world. But your support and your love are unbelievably appreciated. And it's really been Teresa's work and sacrifice that has allowed me to do what I love with these students every day with ease. So my dear beloved band widow, I love you. To the audience, to everyone sitting in this room, everyone watching, everyone that's been a part of my journey out in this audience. Thank you for being such amazing and fantastic people and supporters of your children and of me and my family. Thank you for raising such magnificent students to be so kind and dedicated, and I hope my parenting turns out like yours. And lastly, to you all, these awesome students, for however many years we've had worked together, I hope you all know you are the reason I have purpose in life. It's okay, Charlotte. That's definitely, you gotta know that pride. You guys are the reason I have purpose in life, and that you all have to keep doing band, no matter what. And I hope that you know I love you all very much. So at this point, the only way I can continue to express my gratitude is to make music with these terrific people. I hope you all continue to be the pride, the excellence, and the tradition. And from the deepest part of my heart and soul, thank you. themselves, maybe they're going to make some warm-up sounds, and then we're going to tune, play just a tiny little warm-up, and I'll explain a little bit about what's going on with our music. But we're very excited to present two different pieces to you all this evening. I want to give you guys a little taste of home with Appalachian Morning by Robert Sheldon. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece that reminds me of the mountains that I miss. Also, we'll be playing Brian Balmage's Elements, which is the very first piece that I got to conduct at a large group contest my very first year here in 2014. And this four-movement work is an incredible piece of music that really showcases so many of the wonderful things about this band. And we ask that with those four-movement work that you hold your applause to the very, very end. So we're pleased to share with you this evening Robert Sheldon